I needed to get out of the house. In line with that, I had no real desire to leave the house. So figured that's a good reason to get out for at least a little walk. Just been kind of feeling blah the last few weeks. Good day. It is about -5. Just a few snowflakes fallen. Yeah, lately I've just been waking up with these 4 a.m. hot flashes, and could be male menopause, right? Apparently such a thing does exist. And just kind of got, anxiety getting to me. There's a lot of stuff going on at work that I have involvement in, and it's just really weighing me down. And I think as I get older, I just seem to be less tolerant of the stresses of work. Back in the day, it was almost a bring it on scenario. Now it's like, go away. However, I'm getting paid to do a job, so I still gotta step up, but it's really getting hard on my mental health, I think. So I'm gonna have to be conscious of that and make sure I keep it in check somehow. We're on the Devonian Trail here, and lots of ice on it. I'm not wearing my cleats yet, but we'll see how it goes. We've had so many thaws and then refreezes that I'm not sure how these paths are going to be. All we can do is give it a go. I've again been neglecting my quote-unquote active lifestyle. I'm not getting out to walk nearly enough. And I know I keep saying that, but it's just seems to be the thing these days. One thing I did change though in the last couple 3 weeks is no snacking in the evening. I try and shut down any eating by about 7:30 at night, and just kind of help, not peaking insulin levels just before you're supposed to go to bed and stuff. But it seems like after I did that was when I was having my 4 a.m. anxiety sweats, so maybe the insulin was good for me. Not likely. I didn't eat a lot in the evenings, but a couple 3 cookies here, a little piece of pie there. All those things contribute to messing with your insulin levels and stuff like that. Baby steps, I guess. Well, now we're gonna go down the switchback here. This could be bad, or it could be mostly thought out. So far it's not that great, but get some traction on the edge here. I've always struggled, or not really struggled, I guess, but I've always had some sort of anxiety, even back as far as when I was a kid. Home life when I was younger, like preschool and into elementary school, was a little unpredictable. And then just, the angst of being a teenager. A big thing for me was when we would switch schools. You'd go from what we called elementary into junior high, and then from junior high into high school. And I always had this problem, and I still have it today, where I kind of go down a spiral of worst case scenario what ifs, and you know, and then that just elevates the anxiety levels. And I'm sure if I had ever sought professional help, I could probably resolve this in some form or fashion. I chose to write my own prescription and call it hiking or walking, so you know, pick your poison, I guess. So yeah, even into adulthood, it was kind of the same thing. I remember one of my previous functions at one of the companies I worked at was doing office space layouts and design and that type of thing. I must have lost so much sleep over paint colors that I chose to match the furniture that I bought, and it was like, oh my god, like, you know, a wall can be repainted. But you know, we kind of worked in the environment like it was our money we were spending, and you know, you don't want to do rework and you don't want to seem like a failure. So yeah, that was I for whatever reason I vividly remember that bout of anxiety. Going up some of this might be a bit of a challenge on my way back. Well, I've never walked up there. It's kind of a switchback, and it'll take you across the bridge, I think. We can go up that path to the bridge, but let's try this one underneath it. Down there in the summer, lots of people like to hang out and picnic and stick their toes in the river. Down there, I believe, is all private land. I think I did walk through there before, not knowing that it was private. There is a shoulder, but I don't know if I want to walk on it. Over there, I think they've put a walkway in, so let's just double back to that. Always need to have long bridge spans here because the river is wide and the river valley is deep. They refurbed this bridge 2, 3, 4 years ago, maybe longer, and I think they added this sidewalk to it, or pedestrian path. I've never come up to it. Breaking new ground for Mundane Man. I don't know how much I'll film, it's going to be pretty noisy. This bridge can be pretty sketchy in the winter because you come around a corner there and then you start heading down, and then where that car is now, that's when you start heading up the hill, and so you start trying to manage your speed coming down the hill as you hit the bridge. And through the miracle of how bridges work, we're on the other side of the river. That's Prospector's Point over there, and we followed the trail all up along the tree line above the what looks like clay or sand bank of the river. Down there's the Devon Park and boat launch, and we've gone through the trees up over there and up the hill. Today I'm going to try seeing what's on the other side of the bridge here. Might be a little nothing, but let's give it a shot. People are brave when they're standing on a I-beam like that, and oh, no thank you. It's making things crawl just thinking about it. You can go back that way and just kind of follow the highway. I want to kind of get closer to the river here and head south. See if there's any trails along here that have been kind of used. I don't know if I have the gumption to climb that hill. These were trails that were made for Alberta Summer Games in 2016, and I guess they're sort of still maintained. Ooh, that looks like a big hill to go up. We'll see how far we get. New earworm as I take a break from climbing this hill. Britney Spears, oops, I did it again. was on the radio on my way here, and somehow it embedded itself in my brain. The one advantage I have is whoever came up here prior to me really dug in some good footprints, and they seem to have a similar stride to me. Oh, we made it to the top. Why? I don't know. I wanted to see what was at the top of the hill, and it turned out to be more of the same. There's a fence line up there, kind of a trail that nobody's taken, and then this one that heads back down. Oh, you know me and my curiosity. Let's climb this hill and see what's there. Well, we came to a partial fence up here. Thank you to the guy with size 12 feet that gave me the traction I needed. Oh, farmer's field. Which way do I go? Apparently this way. Okay, we aren't going down that. And it looks like my large-footed friend went down this hill. For the sake of safety, clamp-ons engaged. This time I was smart enough to put my gloves down first before I sat on a frozen log. See, I learn. Takes a lot, but I do learn. Hopefully my feet don't pay for it later, but sore feet will get better shortly. A broken limb or wrist or something like that will not. Probably should have had them on coming up the hill too, but stubborn. This is a little bit more ziggy-zaggy or switchback down the hill. There's another trail there. I think a lot of this is, I think it said way at the top that it was a pipeline, buried pipeline route. So either they're sucking up fresh water or dumping out effluents, if you will. Pretty good snowfall going on too. I don't think it's supposed to amount to much, but adds to the ambiance of the forest. I think that's the hill I climbed up there. The frozen North Saskatchewan again. I wonder why that's there. Any ideas? I did see that in Lois Hole Park. People had tied ribbons or shirts or whatever, rags to trees. So I wonder if it has some kind of meaning, or somebody just marking a trail, or what. I'm still following these switchbacks that are crisscrossing down the hill instead of the straight up path. Another trail down to the river there. I think I'm going to make my way back, because I still got to climb up Prospector's Point yet. Unfortunately, the whole way back is pretty much going to be uphill. From here you can clearly see the switchback I need to walk up to get along the trails up there. Based on what I saw the condition of the trails, I'm going to put my clamp-ons back on before I start heading up. A few years back, I don't know how long it was, 2 or 3, some girl's car broke down on this bridge, and they found the car, but they never found her ever again. I don't think. That's kind of freaky, eh? Unless it was staged or something and she wanted to disappear. Don't know if that ever got solved. Clamp-ons engaged. Let's head her up the hill. I was watching a video on anxiety and waking up in the middle of the night and not being able to get back to sleep. And this guy had a couple methods that I've been using lately, where number one, you start stretching your body from your toes up to your neck, you know, just stretch out, bend your toes in, pull back on your feet and stretch out your calves and legs and stuff like that. So apparently it signals your brain to focus on your muscles and not whatever movie is playing in your head. The other thing too that I found helpful is start spelling out words in your head. So as an example, I would take the word, any word, doesn't, dealer's choice if you will. I would take the word piano, spell the word piano, and then with each letter of the word piano, spell out another word. So as an example, piano, P-I-A-N-O, and then next you'd start with a P word, like people, P-E-O-P-L-E, and then I, individual, I-N-D-I-V-I-D-U-L-A, D-U-A-L rather, and you just carry on like that, and it starts training your brain to move away from a wackadoodle loop you have going on in your head and shifts it into something else. You know, it might be right up there with the old counting sheep scenario to get to sleep. So I found those two things helpful. If you wake up in the middle of the night and just keep fixating on something that you can't control. So give those a shot if you suffer from the 4 a.m. anxiety wake-up call. This late winter snowfall is Mother Nature reminding us that she's in charge. I'll give you a little 10-degree day to make you think spring is coming, and then boom, back below zero and a snowfall. A couple other things I do to stave off my waking hours anxiety is taking 10 deep breaths in your nose and out your mouth, just deep ones. Hold it a bit, let it out. Do that about 10 times. And this one, I may sound a little weird, but you know, if I'm driving in my car, if nobody's home, I just let out a huge scream. It kind of just vents out that negative energy, and that seems to help a bit. I don't ever want to have to, you know, if it's a problem then I would, but don't really want to have to go down the path of medication and stuff. I think it's something that, you know, if you put the right energy into, you can resolve it yourself or control it, I guess. It may never go away, but you just need to figure out ways not to go into a spiral. Another recommendation too is, this one came from my doctor, was amping up your magnesium and B12 intake. A lot of us don't process magnesium very well, and adding supplement to it can help. It'll help with the apparently nervousness, twitchiness, that type of thing. And I think studies have shown that people are really lacking in certain minerals like magnesium. Zinc might be a good one as well to help with that. See, the way this new snow has covered up the ice can be deadly for old mundane man walking along without cleats on. So I'll come along and just go woo Ooh, bang, slammed down on my buttock. Now, if you suffer from anxiety and it's debilitating and natural forms don't work, don't be afraid to go to a doctor or therapist and potentially take medication for it. Everybody's different, and how you adapt and deal with it is an individual process. For me, I try and burn off any anxiety by climbing stupid hills like this. Well, there's a truck. Let's get to it and see how we did today. I don't expect my pace is going to be anything to write home about. Okay, not a bad walk today, 10,700 steps. Lots of elevation change though, so that's what really made it a solid hike for today. And 6.33 kilometers in an hour and 56 minutes. Pace really not that great, but you know, the elevation is what did it for me. So really got a good sweat going. So that's it for this one. Just make sure you look after your physical and your mental self, and we'll see you on the next one.